Thomas, it's up for grabs now!
Magic ball from Bergkamp to Patrick Vieira!
Oh, would you believe it? Oh, right, what a way to get it! Well,
Fabulous solo goal by Thierry Henry.
Right, evening everybody. I had to come in last minute as a 90th minute substitution for Lev. He's got some technical issues he's trying to sort out to come in. So it's me and African Gunner for now, and we're just going to try to make some sort of sense out of that performance and what happened. So, yeah, I'll start with you, man. Hit me. What's your thoughts?
Hit you. Well, I'll hit you with the fact that I predicted 2-1 yesterday, and it was 2-1. I spoke to Lev earlier this morning, and for some reason he gave me some positivity, and we were chatting, back and forth, and I was like, okay, maybe we could win, but ultimately we knew we were gonna lose 2-1. I mean, people are saying that Iwobi had a decent game and dominated us. I don't think that he did. Yes, he had a hand in the first goal, which, to be honest, I think Rob Holding could have done much, much better. I didn't want him to play. I think Mustafi would have done a much better job than him. I think one thing that's positive from this match is that we were creating much more. And you could tell that when Martinelli came on, he was trying and the team was trying in general. But it's a bit too late. I don't understand why we wait till the last 10 minutes to start playing like we're supposed to be playing in the first minute, right? So really disappointing. Tactically, it's the same tactics that we keep doing every single game. We play on the left side, we try to cross and try to make something happen. There is no creativity, no tactics, no identity, nothing. There's nothing in this team. And there's nothing that you can say of why Arteta should stay. He's not giving anything. We have been failing with the same tactics for the past 8-9 games, and he keeps playing the same tactics, So I don't know what your thoughts on, but clearly,
Look, man, for me, there was a few things that are a big question mark. One of them was I can't understand why Nketiah is even in this team. Why you've got, look, Lacazette is a superior player than Nketiah. You got him on a bench. You got to use what's available to you. So you bench Lacazette, and then you start Nketiah, who brings nothing to the table. And at the same time, that exactly what happened against Burnley in terms of how we conceded the goal happened again. So in Burnley, it was Aubameyang against Burnley. Aubameyang that was marking the first post, and he went off his head. So this time, it was Nketiah that was marking the first post. And Yerry Mina, who's a lot bigger than Nketiah, just comes in and heads the ball. So people have obviously watched this, and they picked up on it, that this is a weakness area. But we don't seem to have picked up on it ourselves. We don't do anything. We just this is how we set up, and we go like this every game, regardless of what happens. If you remember on Friday, we did a show together, and I told you Everton has got two big defenders that are quite physical. Yeah. I just think they marked Nketiah out of the game. So that was that. And one of them came up and scored a goal. The other one is the substitution. Why wait so late to bring Lacazette on?
80th minute. Yeah.
I don't get that. You might as well not bring him on. Look, this team is a very poor team. We understand this, right? We all agree. But Arteta is not helping the situation either with the decisions that he is making. He is making wrong decisions week in, week out. And look, we're 15th in the league. We're, I think, 4 or 5 points above relegation. Yeah. Doesn't look good, man. Doesn't look good.
Doesn't look good at all, and 100% agreed that, I said it before the game started when I saw Nketiah was starting. I was really appalled by that decision. I mean, why isn't Balogun on the bench, and why are you playing Nketiah over, Lacazette, and Martinelli, right? If you're fit to be on the bench, as I said, Shaheen yesterday, then you're fit to play, man. And you could tell when Martinelli came on, look, nothing happened. He didn't get injured. He played 20 minutes. He was running his socks off. So I'm sure he could have played 45 minutes. And he should have played the first 45 minutes to get us a goal in the first half. And then we could have sat back and, just dealt with the pressure. But really, Nketiah's not good enough. He had an incredible chance that Kieran Tierney, played to him on a plate. Could have taken a touch and even gotten the shot on target. But to completely miss like that, I mean, that just shows you that he's not good enough, right? And I mean, yeah, you can't compare Europa League to Premier League, right? And I wouldn't say that it was his fault for the corner. I think it was more Pepe. But didn't we get new managers and coaching staff to deal with set pieces? And then you're putting Pepe or even Nketiah against Yerry Mina, who scored headers in the World Cup and is known to score headers. That just doesn't make any sense. So lots of decisions that he keeps getting wrong. I know Edu came out and said that he's doing a great job, but listen, I mean, that's an absolute joke. You're taking a mick at the fans. You're making fun of the fans when you come out with statements like that because, not only Arsenal fans, but the whole world can see that we're absolute crap. And he's clearly out of his depth. He needs to go. And even if he's going to be a good manager in the future, I mean, right now, as, Lev and I both said, we're bleeding. We need surgery. Like, Lev tweeted about, Arsenal always putting a bandage over the cuts, but this time we can't even put a bandage because the blood is seeping out so much that bandage is just going to get removed. We need stitches badly, and the first stitch that needs to happen is Arteta out.
Well, look, I agree with you. First of all, I'm just going to give shout out to a few people in the comments. AQ, Mr. Bango, Mr. B, everybody. Just thank you for giving us your time and watching us. Hit the like button. Tell us in the comments. Tell us what you thought of the game as well. For me, listen, we did a show with Lev some time ago, and there was reports that Arteta had 3 games to save his job, and he lost all 3 of them. I think he drew 1. He lost the other 2. I said this some time ago, and I say it now. Things need to be looked at, and a level needs to be determined. That listen, this is if we get here, enough is enough. He needs to go because look, owners is not going to go, board is not going to go, Edu is not going to go, 11 players are not going to go. There's only one man that is quite easy to change, and that's Mikel Arteta. Right? If you do that, and you bring, for example, for argument's sake, an Allegri type manager, right? You still got the same bunch of rubbish players. You've got to now listen. That I'm sure there's going to be people who are going to look back, right, and ask questions. That for past 3 games, that would Matteo Guendouzi made a difference on that midfield? I think 100%. Yes.
And Torreira, even Torreira.
Torreira. Look, we loaned out Mohamed El-Neni to Besiktas because he wasn't good enough. He was deemed not good enough. He was deemed that is, it's not what we really need. And now he's starting for us, right?
Says everything.
So you've got Torreira, Guendouzi, and Ozil, 3 players who are out, and all 3 of them would have made a difference. So that needs to be looked at. Who made that decision? These guys are not good enough. And if you're going to send these guys out on loan, then you've got to replace them with quality, not an El-Neni type manager, because then you are exactly where you are. Table doesn't lie.
Yeah.
The results are there for everybody to see how poor we've been. On the other hand, if they sack Arteta tomorrow, right? If they sack him tomorrow, which I don't think they will, how much of a difference would a new manager make?
I think a big difference, really. I think, someone was mentioning to me, why would you want to get rid of the manager and go back to square one? And really, Shaheen, we're at square 0 right now. So square 1 is much better than where we are now. So ultimately, I think even hiring a janitor, hiring anybody right now, and that's not I'm not trying to disrespect Arteta. I just think anyone, even yourself or myself, anyone who goes in there right now will have a change to what we're doing, because we're one-dimensional. We've been found out. We did well in the FA Cup playing this 3-4-3 and playing counter-attacking. Now we've been found out and we have absolutely nothing else, right? And the thing is, we're not trying to play any other way. We're continuing to play the same way, to give it to Tierney or give it to Pepe, cross the ball in and have something happen, right? So something needs to change, and that is Emile Smith-Rowe. That is bringing back Ozil in the team. That is, literally, there are so many things that we could be doing to make ourselves better, right? That you cannot be telling me that the players we have right now are, relegation battle team. It just doesn't make any sense. So I think Arteta is also not being helped by his assistant coach or his coaches or whoever those guys are. I really don't know, because someone needs to be telling him in his ear that this isn't working, right? And that we need to change our tactic. We cannot be continuously playing like this for months and then having the same results and expect that something is going to change.
Yeah, I hear that. Look, you got people like our good old friend Flo, right?
Yeah.
Look, I'm finding this hard, right? To have any justification or anything to come back to what Flo is saying now, right? Put some respect on Mikel Arteta's name. He is what he is. Go manage Bolton, learn on the job. Not my club. Arteta out. And you know what? I might have had a debate with Flo about this some time ago and try to get my point across to him, but I can't now.
Yeah,
because,
and I was there when we had that conversation.
Yeah, I remember.
And totally now, totally now I can't have any reason of why, I don't want to say Flo was right, because I think, we agree as well that any manager is not going to take us into top 6, but we wouldn't be 15th, right? We'd be 10th or 11th, would be winning games, would have an identity, would be creating, Willian not getting subbed and Pepe getting subbed when he was not having the best of games, but he was making more of impact. I don't understand why Willian stayed on. Is it because we were more comfortable as playing him as the 10? And we're not comfortable of having Pepe as a 10. And I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense. But really, Shaheen, the board needs to come out now and have an open letter to the fans, and they need to be flying here. Josh needs to be flying here. And, they make these videos on Arsenal player all the time, trying to convince the fans that they have a plan and stuff. And I'm not buying it anymore. He needs to come here. He needs to have an interview with Edu and Vinay, the three of them. And they need to let the fans know that, we are on an abysmal path, and that they acknowledge that we are on the wrong path, and that they're going to try their hardest in the January window, within the financial means that we have because of COVID, and try to sign players and really say we need to move step by step.
I don't want to sound bad or anything like that, but that's what they should do.
Yeah.
Right. But what they will do is probably a completely different thing. And look, Flo now is here. Flo is always right.
So then, Shaheen, we need to put pressure on the board, right? Because if we don't do anything as fans, this is going to continue, right? I need to hear, and I was saying it before, I don't care if it's the truth, if he's lying, or he needs to say something, right? It doesn't matter if he really means it or not. But as the CEO or the owner's son, basically the owner of Arsenal Football Club, he needs to come out and address the fans, saying that he understands our pain and he sympathizes with us. And he understands that we're not doing well, and that he's going to try his best to take us step by step in the right direction. And that starts off by getting rid of the manager and replacing it with Rafa Benitez, replacing it with Pochettino. Imagine we got Pochettino, right, and we still lost against Man City and Chelsea. I wouldn't be upset, because I would actually have faith that in the next 4 or 5 months something would change.
Yeah, but listen, my point is, would that make a difference? Look, yes. I'm gonna challenge anybody on the chat, right? Come on here, right, and argue a case of what you think is wrong and what's the way forward. Because in my opinion, there are so many things that are wrong at this football club that you can't really put your finger on one thing. Yes, Arteta is a problem. Yes, players are the problem. Board is a problem. Owners are the problem. Tactics are the problem. Coaching staff is a problem. Director of football is a problem. So all of this, it's a lot harder actually to find out what's right about Arsenal Football Club at this present time.
Yeah,
I don't know. Can you find anything that is right with Arsenal Football Club now?
No, Shaheen, you're bang on. Those are all the problems, right? But ultimately, we have to break it down into pieces, because we can't fix all those problems, right? So the first problem is obviously the manager, because the tactics are wrong, right? And before, I didn't think the manager was a problem. I kept saying it was the players, but now I think it's both. It's the players and the manager, right? So what you do is you first replace the manager to at least get us to draw games, at least get us to compete in games, because we're not really competing right now in any game against any team, unless it's the Europa League. And let's get it right against Benfica when we play in the round of 32. We aren't going to compete. Those guys are going to be way better than us.
Did you see what the manager said for Benfica?
No, I didn't. I'm sure he was excited.
He said,
Yes.
he said, I'm not going to lose any sleep about facing Arsenal.
Yeah. Why would he? Any team right now.
Yeah, he's not. Flo, I'm going to get Lev to send you the link. But yeah, he's not. You got Arteta's. Sorry, Arteta. You got a Benfica manager who's turned around and said, "I'm not going to lose any sleep. I'll go facing Arsenal." And that, as far as I remember, I've never known anything like this.
But we've never seen Arsenal this bad, right? This is the worst that any of us really have seen Arsenal this bad, right? Even if you're an older fan, that's probably in your childhood, and you can probably barely remember Arsenal being this bad, right? So clearly, something needs to change, and we need to sign players and bring back Ozil. I'm sorry, if you're not going to buy 2 creative midfielders in January, you need to bring back Ozil. I mean, we are hearing that Torreira obviously is coming back, and his loan is being cancelled, so that's a plus for us. I don't see that as a bad thing, really. I mean, we're so bad that he's going to improve.
What does that say about Lucas Torreira? He's gone to Atletico Madrid, and now he's been told that he's not good enough and that he's been sent back. Another thing I want to discuss, right? And when Flo comes on, he's probably in agreement with me on this. I could not understand for the life of me, right, why Rob Holding was captain in the team today.
Neither can I. I mean, but then look at who was our captain previously. Mustafi, Pablo Mari captain, and now Holding. I'm not surprised. There's no meaning to the captain's armband.
I would have thought that today with the lineup and everything that was there, I would have thought David Luiz would probably have been the candidate.
So Shaheen, does that mean that he actually there's some truth in the rumors that David Luiz, and because it doesn't make sense why he wasn't, right? He's been captain before, so why was Holden given it today? And obviously he scored an own goal to repay the faith. And even then, Leno could have been the captain, or Tierney could have been the captain. I mean, I don't understand why Rob Holding was the captain.
There is a lot of question mark here on Rob Holding's whether he's actually good enough to play for Arsenal. Let alone captaining the team. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously for the game, for the goal, he came. This Calvert-Lewin came between Luiz and Holding, and obviously he took a deflection off of Holding, and he went in, right? But you've got to look at these things and say who is it that thought Rob Holding is good enough to captain the Arsenal? And what
has to be Arteta.
What message are you sending out to everybody else in the team? And if I was Lacazette, what am I like? Nketiah is starting in front of me, and I'm coming on at 80th minute to do what? What can I do in 80th minute?
I totally agree.
There's a lot of decisions that are baffling. And look, everybody in the comments are more or less agreeing that Holding is not good enough. Team is not good enough. And Arteta, there's a lot of people saying Arteta out and this and that. And as I said to you, it is very hard to try to argue that right now, because I don't think Mikel Arteta is helping himself with the decisions making.
He hasn't been helping himself for a while, right? And every game it's becoming more and more obvious because it's more mistakes. And listen, if Holding's the captain today and we win, I ain't saying anything.
No,
because we lose, it adds on. It adds on, and more things and more things. And I want to address Maximus, who's saying Torreira coming back is a plus, calling me dumb as rocks. I mean, listen, if you can't see how bad we are in midfield, that any player, forget Torreira, any midfield player that comes into our team right now makes us better, then that's on you, man. Because I really think Torreira coming back is a plus. We have no one in midfield. Look at our bench, bringing on Willock, not even playing Smith Rowe. We have no one in midfield. Don't expect Ozil to come back in January. So what are you going to do again? Go from January till the end of the season with just El Neni, Ceballos, who was atrocious today, literally atrocious, couldn't even make a pass. He gave away 3-4 balls straight out of play. I mean, terrible. So yeah, man, really have a good look at yourself, because I think Torreira makes his team better. What do you think, Shaheen? I mean, I don't see how Torreira coming back is a bad thing.
I'm a bit puzzled, because what Maximus Giannatelli is saying is probably more or less what me and you are saying. Arteta is out of his depth. He needs to go, and yes, Torreira would have made a difference today. So that's probably what that's what we've been saying. Now, all three of the players that have been frozen out of the team would probably have made an impact today. On top of that, you've got a manager that is making decisions that are questionable. People saying this is his first job and this is that he's learning on the job. But is he learning? Is he actually learning? Because he keeps making same mistakes. Why you're a manager that you're in trouble, right? Why are you playing Nketiah? Can you not see that this guy does nothing? This guy, not that he does nothing. He doesn't give you anything extra at top. Physicality he doesn't have. What he presses people. Oh, wow, what does that do? All right, you don't fancy Lacazette. Give Balogun a chance. And you know what? Another thing is, up to yesterday, there was pictures of Aubameyang in training and all of these things, and all of a sudden he's got an injury and he hasn't been included in the squad. Look, we've got people on the comments saying Torreira is better than El Neni, Socrates is better than Holding. Yeah, he's certainly got more experience than that. Look, probably Socrates would have suited today's game because he would have given that aerial challenge against maybe Calvert-Lewin, and his experienced defender. I'm not saying if he was playing, we would not have conceded a goal. I don't know. But you use the options that you have. Matthew Guendouzi is ripping it up in the German league. And we all sticking with what El Neni and Ceballos, hoping that they'll pull something out of a hat. It's
terrible.
Yeah,
terrible. And that goes back to why is Socrates? He's not even in our squad, man. We're paying this guy money to.
I'm gonna even go one step further, right? That you got a £30 million defender, right? That is not even. Why have we wasted £30 million on a player?
25, but still, he wouldn't fix our creativity. But 100%, I mean, defensively, I think he would make us better, right?
No, I'm talking about Saliba.
Yeah. He's 25 million, and he's not going to
more than that. He's 30, isn't he?
Maybe with add-ons.
Yeah, they spent I think 30 million on him. Somebody else said Pablo Mari. Why have we signed Pablo Mari?
Yeah, he played in under 23s yesterday, right? Which I was baffled by.
What is this? Because this is a Mikel Arteta signing. Right, the right back Cedric. That's a Mikel Arteta signing. People say, "Oh, he hasn't had this chance, this and that." These are his players. He's not even giving his own signing.
Cedric.
Somebody saying 27 million. Yeah, he's not even giving his own signing a chance to play. Like, what's his name? Arsenal fan circle. 27 million to be signed. By the way, they got a great channel, man. Give them a follow. I watch them quite often. 27 million pounds you got defenders that you've signed for that amount of money, and in a game against Everton, poor defensively, poor midfield, poor forward, poor tactical, poor set pieces, poor.
Well, why are we taking short corners, Shaheen? I don't understand. Like, what is going on? Gabriel has scored goals from corners, and Holding, supposedly, we saw his header in the last game where he hit the post in the last minute. Why are we taking corners? I don't understand.
There is a lot of things that are happening right now to this team that are baffling a lot of people. And you're right, and you think right. We looked at last week against Burnley. Right, Aubameyang was marking first post. We conceded the goal. Let's mix it up. Let's swap it around, and then we'll see how that goes. But no, we don't do that. Sorry, guys. Can I just before Lev? Can you do me a favor? Can you send the link to Flo, please? I'll text you as well. I don't think you got my link because Flo wanted to come on and have a say. So if you can do that, So that is also a questionable thing, right? That didn't work last time around. We conceded a goal. What do? Do we change it, or do we stick to the same thing and then we'll see how? No, we stick to the same thing, right?
Which is
Nketiah. He's been playing for us for how long? What has he done up front?
But he's our top goal scorer.
Yeah, but what has he done to warrant?
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic. Right?
Yeah, I understand that. He's done nothing. Again, you got to, you got to then look at why is Lacazette not playing in this game. I said this on Friday, and I said, look, this is possibly a good game for Lacazette because Lacazette brings a little bit of physicality up front, and we didn't have that today.
Yeah. No, I agree,
So
but I think
I'm gonna actually ask you. Yeah, can you tell me what was positive about today?
I think what was positive is that we had, I mean, in the last 10 minutes at least, we had more drive. I felt like Everton realized that we were coming and we were pushing and we were putting passes together. I still think we take too many touches and we go backwards way too many times instead of receiving the ball, turning around and trying to beat the player. We never try to beat, very few of our players try to beat a player. We consistently are trying to find Pepe or Tierney, and Tierney had a really good game today. I mean, his crossing was really great, but, the positives for me is that we were trying. More than other games, I think we were trying. But I think the negatives is that every team is allowing us to have the ball because they're not scared of us. They know we can't do anything with the ball. We will just keep continuously passing it backwards and sideways. And so they're like, okay, cool, have the ball. We're just going to sit back. We already scored our goals. And even if we haven't scored our goals, we're going to hit you on the counter and we're going to score. So, hey, Flo.
Hi, Flo. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, boys. How are you guys?
Right. I'm not going to even start anything, Flo. So I'll give you the mic. Let it out.
First and foremost, boys, anytime you're ready, you can apologise to me.
Yeah, well, let's start with your thoughts on the game and how things went, and then we'll get to that.
Thoughts on the game? To be honest, boys, I didn't even bother waking up to watch the game because it was 4:30 in the morning Australian time here.
Australia.
So I woke up at 5:45 to get ready to go to work. So I probably watched about the last 20 minutes or so of the game when Arsenal were pressing for the equaliser. But, like always, too little, too late. When the team gets a lead on us, they let us have the ball, pass it around, make us look pretty, but we don't do nothing with it. So, yeah, look, typical Arteta playing the way he's playing. So, Arteta style, which is always we are losing. And when we, when the team feels comfortable that they know that, okay, now we got the lead. Now let's see what they can do because as in the previous games you saw, all we did was knock the ball around, pull crosses in. But I think Mikel Arteta and the rest of the coaching staff forgot that we sold Olivier Giroud to Chelsea, so we got no one to hit the ball. So I don't know why we're putting crosses in when we got Nketiah up front. For me, I don't know why Nketiah is starting in front of Lacazette. Lacazette for me should be starting if Aubameyang, he wasn't in the team sheet with his injury apparently. So I don't know what he sees in Nketiah. He might be good in Europa League because Europa League, for me personally, I think that's the group stages is Mikel Arteta's level. So now we got Benfica. I have zero doubt if Arteta's still in charge, we'll go beyond that. So look, for me, I said to boys the first time when we lost to, who was it that we when I came on last time, Shane, who did we play?
Was it Leicester?
I think it was North London Derby, I think.
No. It was before that.
Leicester, I think, or Aston Villa.
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa might have been, yeah. Aston Villa game. So
listen, Flo.
And I called for Arteta, he looks out of his depth. And look, boys, the Arsenal job, we knew from the start. It was we were in the gutter. We were in the shit, right? So to bring in an inexperienced manager, a first-time manager, into the mess that we had, to bring him in and hope for him to turn everything around and get us back and change the culture. And I hear a lot of these these PR words, changing culture, no negotiables, and fans think, I haven't heard this before, and maybe there is a change. So you tell me, I'll ask you guys a question. What culture change have you seen from Arteta?
Well, look, I'm going to answer you. Sorry, I'm going to answer your question, Flo. I think I covered this last time on Real Talk as well. I was not under the impression that Edu is coming to Arsenal Football Club to change any culture, because that was not the problem. The problem is not, you don't get points for having a culture as a football club at the end of the season. You get points for results. Now, the issue here is, we all know, I think, look, everybody in the comments are saying, Arteta is not good enough, he's out of his depth. I think it's common knowledge now that there is unrest at Arsenal dressing room. I know your view on this, and you've been very vocal about this, but from a board's point of view, when is the time that you would think, right, for the sake of the football club, we're going to have to pull the trigger? We're going to have to turn around and say, right, considering what Edu has come out and said, that would fully support this guy and all of this rubbish, right?
Look, what Edu,
When is
what
the
Edu,
time?
what Edu and Vino have said about we're gonna back him. Look, don't read too much into that, because when Raul Sanlehi was in charge with Vino and all them guys, they came out and said the same thing about Emre. We're gonna back him, we're behind him, and then we lost 2 in a row.
2-3 games in a
They
row.
pulled the trigger on him, and we want to change. And and they made the change. So for me, don't read too much into that. They came out and said we're going to back him, because they're not going to come in and say, you know what, we're going to get rid of this guy, because they know that he's already under pressure and he's the first-time manager. So he's not going to handle it if they come out and say, look,
listen,
this isn't good enough. For
Right.
me, I'll pull the trigger. I was going to pull the trigger a long time ago.
Right.
But now the board.
You got. Let me say something.
I'll sack him tonight.
Right. I know you would have sacked him yesterday.
But the board need to sack him after the Chelsea result.
Right.
If they don't get a result out of that game,
let me come back to
for
you.
me, he's
Let
gone.
me ask you something, right? So if you've got the managing director of a football club, right, and the director of football, they're both coming out. They're having a passionate support of the manager. We have to take their word for it, right? You would say, right, you wouldn't come out and talk rubbish. You're coming out and you're telling your opinion in a normal world, not in an Arsenal world, in a normal world.
Yeah.
So if we have to take that face value, right, you would think, right, so these guys are pretty committed to this manager, right? So if they're not going to sack him, if they're not, and I'm going to start with you, African Gunnar, on this one, because I know you've been waiting. If they're not going to sack him, right, which they're saying they're not, okay, how much they need to back him and what needs to happen in January transfer window. And I'm going to come back to you with the same thing flow after. So just imagine, for argument's sake of this question, that they're not going to sack the guy and January is coming. Right? What is it that needs to be done realistically?
Realistically, sell Xhaka, sell Socrates, sell Kolasinac, loan out some of these young players like Nketiah, Reece Nelson, Joe Willock. They're not good enough, and sign 3-4 players. They don't have to be the superstar players that we are all expecting, but they can be players that are going to come in and be here for the next 2-3 years and be better than just squad players, better than in El Neni, Ceballos level. They're going to be Buendia, 25 million. Bissaka, who's also going to be 25 million. I mean, there are a lot of players out there. We can spend maybe 75 million and get 3-4 players that are going to come straight into the starting 11 and actually, give us a chance in the Europa League, because the Premier League is over, boys. I mean, I'm not even looking at the Premier League anymore. And really, I don't want the FA Cup. I don't care about the FA Cup. I want us to go as far as we can in the Europa League. And that starts by, getting players in our starting 11. I don't know what you think, Flo, but I think that's reasonable enough to ask for that. A lot of these players, we can get rid of them if you're going to just pay out their contracts. I mean, just do it, because at this point it's better than just keeping them and letting Socrates and Ozil and all these guys just sit there and earn free money.
Flo?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. Look, we have to get players out, but as well we have to get players in. And for me, how they said they're going to come out and do some signings in the January window and help Arteta, so they have to go out and do that. But not just sign 1 or 2 and stop there. They need to go out and sign, 3 or 4s. So because we can see it. We all complain about the midfield and the defense, and even our wingers in Willian and Pepe, they're not doing it at the moment as well. So we really need to go out and go after some really good players. But the thing is, even if we do go after them kind of players that we think they're going to take us to the next level, will they come to us knowing that we're in 15th, 16th position and that the club's in a mess? So
if we're looking at championship players, Flo, maybe, right? That's why it's like, don't go for the big players, because they won't come.
Hold on. Can I just say something, right? This is Arsenal Football Club.
Not anymore.
Championship.
Doesn't matter. Shaheen, let me ask this question to you, Shaheen.
Go on.
This is Arsenal Football Club. You are not a supporter of an Arsenal Football Club. You are just a player, a professional football player. If Arsenal come in for you and you got other clubs coming in for you, who would you go to? Would you go to Arsenal 16th or would you go to something else? Take the love of Arsenal and the fan that you are.
Yeah.
Look,
would you go to Arsenal knowing that
Arsenal.
and under Mikel Arteta as your coach?
No, I hear you. I hear your point,
chance.
right? I hear your point, right? But there's two things. First of all, Arsenal is still a big name out there. Two, it's about how much money that they can put on a table. But I 100% agree with you, Flo, right? That, like, a good example of what you said is this Dominic Szoboszlai. he went to RB Leipzig, and we were interested. So he must have looked at what's happening at Arsenal and be like, I don't really fancy going there.
No, we didn't put the money on the table, so he didn't even have to consider. He didn't even have to go and think about it.
Even if we did, he could have.
Yeah, even if we did, at the end of the day, even if you meet a player's release clause, it's up to the player whether he wants to come or not. I can guarantee you that Thomas Partey is scratching his head and saying, "What the fuck did I just do?"
I agree.
Probably.
I agree.
Because he's come here, he's come to us, he's had a look at the mess we've had in the changing room. Probably, some players have got into the little groups. We don't like him. Some like him. Some don't. Disharmony in the group. And he's probably gone, I left Atletico Madrid where everything was hunky-dory. The camaraderie in the squad was all there. You play for a top manager. There's going to take no bullshit from no one, not even from the board level or the owner of the club or the president. So he's gone from here and he's come to fucking right here where we are. And he's probably thinking, what the fuck am I doing here? I made the biggest mistake. But if he had his time again and Arsenal were in this predicament right now, in the January window, if we would have gone and got him right now and paid his release clause, we probably would have paid his release clause, but he would have said no thank you. Because at the end of the day, even if you meet a player's release clause, it's up to the player to make the decision whether he wants to come or not. So we probably did that for Sabozla, but he probably said, nah, fuck that. I got RB Leipzig here, and I'm going.
But this is this is one of the things that I was a bit fearful of, because the situation would get so bad that the players would look at the club and they think a Dominic Szoboszlai type player, where he's young, he still needs to develop, and he needs to progress in his playing career. Would he look at Arsenal and be thinking, right, I'm going to develop here and I'm going to become a better player at this football club? Or is he going to say, I'm going to go to RB Leipzig, where they've got a good manager, good setup, and I'm going to become a better manager there? And that's one of the things that I was fearful of with this whole Mikel Arteta kind of thing. Now, there's a lot of problem in French league financially, right? So I think Arsenal might visit that and try to do something in January there. Look, I have to agree with both of you that maybe for the sake of the club, they need to change the manager. But you know how much is that going to improve things? Is that going to improve things so much?
Listen here, it will improve things, because look now, we're going into
January. How much? And
listen. We are going into the January transfer window. If you stick with Mikel Arteta, you're going to have a lot of problems. One, you won't attract the players the caliber players that we want to attract, because they're going to say, Mikel Arteta, who the fuck's he? Plus two, they're going to look at our predicament. They're going to say, no way. It's a club going in decline, going down, not going up. So if you get rid of Arteta and you bring in an Allegri, you bring in a Pochettino, you bring in a Rafa Benitez, you have the aura that, you know what? This manager, he's been there, done that. He's got a name out there. Players would love to play under that manager. So dramatically, that will improve the boost and the self-esteem of the players and the club automatically. So then you can go after the players in Europe, in good teams or whatever, and you might not get the best tier player, but you might get the second or third best player in that category in that team. So you might go after a good winger, you might go after a good midfielder. So that automatically attracts you, and that will improve you. If we stick with Arteta and go into the January transfer window, and then you'll be seeing the same thing, dilly-dallying in the window, Arsenal in for this player. All of a sudden, you'll see January 10th comes along, January 15th, January 20th, and then come into the end of the window. We still haven't signed no one or struggling to sign anyone. And then what are you going to see? Probably one signing deadline day. And we tried, but, it's hard. The pandemic's still playing an effect. All the excuses will come out again. If you get a Rafa Benitez in, for me, Allegri is my number one. We should have gone in for Allegri when we got rid of Wenger. Get Allegri in. You tell me which player would not play under Allegri. He's a well-respected manager.
Look,
he's been to two Europe. He's been to two Champions League finals. Unlucky not to win one. He's won league titles with the AC Milan, with Juventus. Managed big teams, big players with egos. He knows how to handle the dressing room. He was involved with AC Milan for 2-3 years. Never had any issues with the players or heard any disharmony in the team. When he was at Juventus, did you hear, he's losing players here and there, I'm not buying into his play, or he's unmanaging the team well. You never heard none of that. So if you get Allegri in or Rafa Benitez, big players will come in and he will know how to handle it, and he will have good management skills. So automatically, Shane, if you change your manager, you will improve not just the way we play, but also, you will boost the morale in the squad. You will boost the morale of the club, because and also the fans, because you are bringing in good quality players. Personally, if Arsenal go after any player, doesn't matter whether he's average player, he might come for the money, but he won't. But he's not going to be putting in the same shift because he's going to say, no, you know what? Mikel Arteta, who the fuck's he?
Well, look, Flo, there's a few things that I'd like to come back to you on that. One, you know what you said about the players might be looking at Arsenal and they'll be thinking, do I want to really... It applies to the manager. With Allegri or Pochettino, look, they want to be, do I really want to go down there? It's a mess. The players are not good enough. The owners are not really spending. Do I really want to go and spend that money? One. Two, by the look of things, they're not going to get rid of the manager. Right? So what we're saying is, my point is, even if you get Allegri coming, and I agree with you, I wanted Allegri to come in after Arsene Wenger as well. So if you've got a Massimiliano Allegri coming in, how long is he going to be able to get a tune out of these players until we go back to square one? Because at the end of the day, we all agree the players are not good enough.
Yeah, but I've heard this in a lot of podcasts. Sorry to cut in there, freaking Gooner, but let me just make this point across, because I've heard this a lot in the podcast, in the other podcasts that people are doing. People have this mentality of, if we get a new manager, these players will still be here, and we won't get anyone else, or we won't get anyone, or we won't get our players out. But if we stick with Mikel Arteta, we are going to get these players out, and we're going to bring new players in. Why? Why can't you get players out from our team, like the Xhakas, the Mustafis, the Socrates, or the David Luizes, all these players that we want to get them out with a new manager? Why everyone's got that mentality of thinking, if we bring a new manager in, can he really get these players out, or will we say clean slate for everyone? No, mate. The managers who have been out of a job, like Allegri, Pochettino, they will come to Arsenal because, like you said before, the stature of the club, big club. They want to manage big clubs. The spotlight is on the club, and they want that spotlight because they have been out of the game for two years. They have studied Arsenal Football Club and the players and that. We do it as fans. You think the managers don't study clubs that they know that might be in contention to take over? So
of course
they know that they see what we see. They know that Xhaka, Ceballos, Elneny, Willock, even you can put him in there. Not good enough for this level. And Eddie Nketiah, Lacazette, not doing it right now. They know. They're probably ticking. They have a list just like us. Not good enough, not good enough, not good enough. So what makes you think that if we get a new manager in, we won't be getting these players out? But if we stick with Arteta, no. Stick to the process, because we will get these players out. He's made it clear.
The problem here. The problem here, Flo, is for what you're saying. You need a proper gutsy board and an owner to come in and do that, and get a manager like Allegri in and say, right, listen, you've got X amount of money. You don't want Laka, no problem, we'll sell him. You don't want this, no problem, we'll sell him. Arsenal board and the director of football, they don't have that in them. They're not going to be able to do that. And you know what? If you're a Pochettino, if you're an Allegri, right? You've got Man United and Arsenal approaching you at the same time. I don't think they're going to choose Arsenal over Man United, mate.
Man United can only get one manager. They can't get two. So either one of them will be happy. You'll be happy with one because they will improve us, Shane.
I'm just saying, I agree with you, but I'm just saying, managers might look at this and they'll be like, the owner doesn't really spend money. The players are not good enough. There's a divide in the dressing room. I've been out of the game for a while. Do I want to go back to such a messy club and risk my reputation again? Probably not.
But that's where us, the fans, need to play a part. So you know what? We're not going to take any of this bullshit on no more, and we need to come together and fucking erupt and dictate we want change. Not just ride along with it and leave it to the board.
That's a podcast.
You have a look at any other club. You have a look at the Liverpools, the Man Uniteds, any other club in Europe, Real Madrid, Barcelona. When they want change, the fans unite and rise together. They got change. They want to get rid of Messi. The fans went in there. They kept him. Real Madrid, if it's not going well on the pitch, handkerchiefs come out. Next day or next week, you'll see a change. Why is this mentality in England? No,
yeah, we probably got the most divided fan base.
Leave the board to what they want. Ed Do, when he came out with his comments about, people think magician, boom, we want Messi. For me, that was the biggest insult to us fans. He could come out and say that. Who the fuck is Ed Do to say that to us? We need to be patient. Mate, we've been patient fucking since 2006. How many more years we need to be patient? How many more years are we going to say this season is a write-off? We did it with Emre. We're doing it with Arteta. The first year of his tenure, Emre's tenure, we'll give him a free pass because he's his first managerial in Arsenal. No free passes here, my friend. You earn time by proving to me on the pitch what you can do. If the players, the confidence is down, the mentality is down, you are there as a manager, not a head coach, but manager, to change that perception, to get them into the right frame of mind, to get them into the confidence. That's what you are there for. That's why your title is manager. So don't tell me, stick with Arteta. We as fans cannot stomach this anymore and we need to be heard. Arteta is very lucky the fans are not allowed to be in the ground. Because believe me, if this pandemic wasn't here and the fans were into the stadium with 60,000 fans, Arteta would have been sacked 4 weeks ago.
Listen, I can see you're very passionate about this, and I can see that you're going in hard. But I just want to, you know what?
I've had enough of this guy.
Yeah, well, listen, what just Edu, what Flo just said in terms of Edu, he's coming out with all of these things in relation of what happened today at Everton. How would you look at that now, African Guna? And how do you think a guy who's come out with a statement and has seen what's happening today, and this is the same guy that was in the dressing room with the invincible team, with characters like Patrick Vieira, Tony Adams, Martin Keown, so he's seen all of these characters. Where does he go from here? How would that go? Give us your thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, just I guess I saw Flo as loving his rant there, so I had to give him his space to get his points across. But he's bang on. I mean, listen, I don't understand why we're making excuses. The board can sack Arteta whenever they want. It's the fans that have been just letting this go, right? And if there's a clear plan, you can't tell me that Allegri's not going to come in, right? They can hire people that are going to do a financial analysis of the worst possible state of this club and the best possible case in terms of the transfer window, in terms of how much transfer budget and money that he's going to have, right? And if we tell him that we're going to have 100 million to spend in January and we're going to get rid of these players, are you telling me that he's not going to come? He's definitely going to come because, we are a big club at the end of the day, right? And as Flo said, these managers definitely have done analysis on the club and they definitely know what they would do if they came in. I'm pretty sure. But I think, what Flo's saying about Edu as well is correct. Listen, I don't care who it is, Messi, Ronaldo. As Arsenal fans, we want to hear from our board that we can sign anyone in the world, right? So that is insulting to the fans that Edu is coming out and saying, basically, we've got to be patient and we can't afford the top players in the world. We should be able to buy any single player that we want, or be told at least. It can be a lie, right? But the fans want to know that we can buy any player that we can. Listen, for me, frankly, Edu hasn't done anything, right, Shaheen? I mean, we haven't seen any change, right? So clearly, Edu is not having an impact. He's not saying anything to Arteta. I mean, it's not his job to, right? So, frankly, for me, I think Edu needs to be fired as well. And that's when it goes back to Josh coming in and saying that this recruitment team, has been absolutely appalling. We are not meeting our targets. And I'm coming in, stepping in. I'm going to be here for the next 2 months and make sure that we're back on track. Really, that's all that really we can do, because I don't see us beating Man City. I don't see us beating Chelsea. I don't see us going anywhere. The only way we do anything is if the owners come to London and make a stand and make a plan, because our plan is to shit right now. We need to make a new plan. And that new plan has Allegri or Pochettino or Rafa Benitez at the top of the list for me.
Let me just say one thing. Sorry.
What we got to say?
African Guna, when did Stan Kroenke or Josh Kroenke come to England and make the change happen under Wenger? When us fans, we didn't accept it anymore. They came.
I agree.
Again for them to come here, not just say, "Oh, give him time."
That's what I'm saying, Flo. We need to put pressure. We need to put pressure on the Kroenkes, and I don't know how to do that as fans that are not in the stadium. But somehow we need to put pressure on social media that we need an open statement from the club of the direction of the club that we're doing and the steps that are going to be taken to fix the mess that we're in. Because right now they're not saying anything, which makes it even worse. And it's the same problem that we had before the Be Excited statement. We were in the same predicament. This is the same cycle that we keep going through, just with a different manager and a different director of football. It's the same crap.
Absolutely.
Well, that's one of the problems with the club, in terms of they have never communicated to us properly and told us the truth. I remember from the Ivan Gazidis and Wenger, they used to go, "Oh yeah, there's funds we can spend, but we haven't found a player who would improve us." And everybody would look at us and they'll be like, "How can you not find another player that would improve you?" So, look, guys, I have to ask you a question. I know your views are but obvious on this, and you've been saying this, but where do we go from here? Considering that they're not going to sack the manager, and considering that they're not going to give the guy the war chest, say that he needs to give an overhaul
Change
of
the
the
formation. Change the formation first of all, and change the tactics. Because, as I've said, and Flo, I don't know what your thoughts. We keep playing the same way, and we keep failing. Why? Why do we keep playing the same way if we keep seeing the same shit? Like, I don't understand. It just doesn't make any sense. For even, as I keep saying, a janitor can see that the tactics are not working. So why can't he see that the tactics are working? Right? Should he play two strikers up front? Like, play Bellerin as a striker. I don't know. Change something. I mean, it's just we're playing the same one-dimensional football. We need to change tactics. If it doesn't work, so be it. But at least we tried. If we continue playing like this, we're still going to lack creativity in every game until we sign a player. And we cannot keep going that way.
Us fans, all we care about is the results on the pitch. We don't care about what happens in the board or who our owner is. If things are going right on the pitch, no one cares who your owner of the club is. So what we have control of is on the pitch. If the manager's not doing it, we need to act on the manager first. And then if they bring in another Mikel Arteta in, like Eddie Howe or whoever, that's where we need to play a part and say, no, we will not accept this. So first and foremost, it's much easier to get rid of an owner, to get rid of a manager than an owner, boys. So we know we have problems, but the manager comes first. Get rid of him.
The unity of the fan base flow has been an issue for a very, very long time, and that is one of the problems of this football club, because we're quite possibly the most divided fan base we have in UK, maybe along with Man United. But then
you know why?
With the size of the club, I guess.
You know what? No, I disagree. I think the reason we're so divided is because within the fan base, we've been lied to so many times, and there's a difference in ambition with fans. There are fans who are willing to accept this crap, and there's fans who want to win and be the best, right? So, and an Arsenal being such a global fan base and so many fans around the world, there's a lot of friction because a lot of fans are voicing their opinions as this new generation of football opinions and doing YouTube videos, that now there's much more of a clash, because now you actually seeing people with different ideas coming together, and really it's because the board have reduced so many people's expectations. We've been brainwashed for so long that people are accepting crap.
Let me ask you guys one question. Sorry, Shane. Do you guys backstand Kroenke and the board?
No, of course not. I haven't for a long time.
Okay. Then why do you back the process of Arteta?
I don't. So I don't.
Who's back the process?
Whoever bought that we have to trust the process bullshit? Well, then how can you trust the process that comes from the people that you don't trust?
Because
I think you missed this point here, Flo. I think you missed this point, because I've been saying this for a good few weeks now, that the manager is out of his depth. I think African Gunnar has been saying the same thing. So we have been saying
hasn't.
Yeah.
Lev is not here to defend himself, so I have to wait for him. He still can't get.
You, Shaheen, need to slap some sense into that kid.
Yeah, well, I'll try.
No, he's all right. He's all right. Hey, look, Lev is all right. He's just a little bit dazed and confused, that's all.
No.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, Shaheen. I was gonna say, Flo, I totally hear you, but I think the other thing is we're so used to not getting what we want, and so that we accept minimum requirements, minimum signings, minimum everything, to the point where as fans, you kind of lose that energy and that fire in you to fight, because you keep fighting for so many years and you just keep getting crap. And then when you sign Thomas Partey on the last day of the window, you're celebrating because you didn't expect shit, right? And I feel bad for people. I don't agree that it's right, but I feel that we've been disappointed so many times that at a point we just give up. I'm tired. My soul is.
That's the problem.
Broken.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the
Look,
problem.
for
The
me,
majority of the fans have lowered the expectations and the demands of the club.
that's
why they accept it.
That's exactly what I'm coming to, Flo, because the statement that Edu came out with, right, is a statement. Yeah, is a statement that he's trying to lower the expectations of the fans. So if you're coming out, you see, this is what I don't like about Arsenal. There's a lot of things I like it, but this is what I hate about Arsenal. They think fans are idiots. How can someone like Edu come out and say you need to give Willian time to settle in? What, you have to sit down and think, listen, there is either something seriously wrong with you, who you think is acceptable to give Willian time to settle in. My man has not even moved, nothing. He hasn't even moved house. He's just changing direction the way he goes to work, right?
Yeah.
So, or you're trying to lower the expectations of fans, which then, as a result, means the club will be performing poorer in all competition, in all front, and we have to accept it.
But this has been going on for many years.
And that's director of football speaking. So then you've got to sit down, take that all in, and you think, if you got this guy as a director of football and he's coming out with these statements, we've got no chance. He's not going to have it in him to turn around and say to Arteta, right, you're out. And I hate to say this, but look how Daniel Levy dealt with Pochettino after everything he's done for Tottenham. Out.
Absolutely. Ruthless, mate. Ruthless. That's
Exactly.
what you need, but that's what we want from the board level. We don't want fucking. We don't want this. What's the word? You know,
yes, man.
Sentiment. You know, you got to have sentiment. You got to do it the right way, mate. It's a business. Anyone who has a business, which I do, and Shaheen, I don't know what line of work you're into on that, but if you have a business, mate, if you don't have a ruthless about you, you will never succeed. You will be stepped over.
That is one of the problems we have, because we don't have anybody with that sort of character at Arsenal Football Club. Anybody from board down to turn around and say, right, listen, enough is enough. This guy needs to go in the morning. By the following day, we need to have a quality manager in to try to salvage something out of the season. I don't see anybody in Arsenal set up.
West Brom board. The West Brom board have more balls than our board.
No, there we go. That's another argument.
But my point is, when the board has been doing this and taking the mick out of fans for 16 years, it becomes normal to the point that Edu knows that people previously have, basically disgraced the fans and are taking a mick out of the fans, that he has no problem doing it, because if others did it and nothing happened, then why should he doesn't fear of any consequences of saying things like that, right? I cannot believe he is saying something about us not being able to sign Messi. We're Arsenal Football Club. We should be able to sign any player we want.
We're not asking him to sign Messi.
Yeah, of course not. But even if we were, Flo. Even if we were, you better go and try. Don't say you can't. Go and try and say you tried and you couldn't do it. Don't say we can't, because we're Arsenal Football Club.
Because if you, as a board member and as a technical director, put your club down, then expect anyone that you're doing business with to buy players is going to put you down. Because if you don't respect yourself, no one will respect you.
Well, look, this comment probably sums up what both of you are saying. Liverpool just won 7-0 and the captain is still unhappy with how sloppy some of the passes are. The difference in mentality between Arsenal and Liverpool is staggering. That's from Crook, right?
Yeah,
and look,
that comes down from the manager, bro.
Yeah, but it comes from the players as well.
Because
they
the
demand
manager...
so much of the. I remember, and look, this is very sad, but I remember there was days that we used to go and spank teams 5-4-0 away from home.
Absolutely.
When you had Vieira's, Henry's, and Bergkamp's and Pires, that because we had character, we had tactics, but we had plan.
We had talent and quality.
As Flo said earlier, we had Olivier Giroud, and everybody was crying out, why are we not putting crosses in the box? We sold Olivier Giroud. Now the tactic is, let's cross the ball. And it doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense. Again, I'll go back to the point that some people say the problem are the players. Yes. Some people like Flo saying the problem mainly is the manager. Yes. Some people like myself saying the main problem is the board and the owners. And
the problem is everywhere. It's the owner, it's the board, it's the manager.
Exactly.
But you can't act on the board and the owner and not, first. It's very hard because he doesn't care what I say. He doesn't care what you say. He doesn't care what African Guna says. As long as the revenue for him, the money keeps coming in and all that, he doesn't care about the footballing side of it. So
but we made a loss this year.
Unfortunately.
We made a loss, but as soon as Arsenal put out a training kit out, fucking every one of them go buy it, and then they make videos and rate. Oh, let's rate the jersey. Let's rate the wear.
Do you remember? So these are the things that you, as a fan, have to sit down and go back and question the decisions, right? Do you remember Stan Kroenke came out and said, "I'm paying off the debt we have for the stadium."
6 months ago, yeah.
Right? Everyone put him up on a pedestal for that.
Yeah, so everyone's like, that's great. For me, if you're paying off a debt, right? So he paid off however much, I don't remember, I knew at the time. Would it not have made sense for a responsible owner to turn around and say, right, instead of me spending this money to buy the debt, I'm going to turn around and say, right, I'm going to give this money as a loan to the business. Go out there, buy 3-4 heavy-duty players. Let's get back to the Champions League. Let's make money, and you can start paying me back. That would have. So, do you know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
you would have looked at. So you have to look back now and say, had he done that at the time, we probably would have been a far superior place now.
Agreed, but we should have been doing this 10 years ago, Shaheen.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going on the recent events. I'm not that much. So then you've got to question him, and then you've got to again question him playing Nketiah instead of Lacazette, right? Is not down to Kroenke, right? It's down to the manager.
Yeah, here he is.
How are you still smiling?
Fucking Flo, are you Russian, mate?
Right, Lev, you know what?
Yeah.
We all been saying what we thought. I'm sure you've been listening. So why don't you tell us your thoughts and what about everything you've been listening to and about what happened today?
Well, I've only been on recently, guys, because I've had all manner of technical issues. So apologies. Thanks for holding the fort, boys. And you've done a great job. But listen, can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Listen, guys.
Boys, I'm going to jump out and come back in because Lev is echoing. I can't hear him that good.
No, we hear you fine. It's probably
Lev, I can't hear Lev. He's stuttering.
Yeah, if you go back out in Flo.
Yeah,
can you guys hear me all right?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Sorry.
No, we can hear you fine.
Perfect. Boy, firstly, I don't even know where to start. When you looked at that team sheet today, was you filled with confidence?
No.
When you looked at Everton's team, did they look better than ours?
I would have felt a lot better if Lacazette was playing up front.
Right.
Agreed.
All right. These are the big standout things for me, right? Why start with Eddie? Why start with Willian? Right? He keeps persisting with Holding. I don't rate him. I never have rated him.
Oh, he was the captain today.
Captain Calamity. Absolute joke. How has that man done anything to warrant putting on that armband for Arsenal? How?
He fought through an injury.
He's done nothing. He's done nothing to warrant wearing that armband. I don't understand what the thought process was behind it. Someone like Tierney was far better suited to wear the armband.
David Luiz would have been the ideal candidate.
David Luiz. Do you know what? Like, there's people in that team that no, I don't rate David Luiz.
He's shit.
So I don't know, guys. It was just a big mishmash today. None of it made any sense. But do you know what the weird thing is? This team are meant to be the team that beat us, Everton, today. They're second in the league, right? You could argue that we still could have got something from that game, whichever way you want to look at it. If we really went through it, do you know when we really went through it? The last 10, 15 minutes.
10 minutes. That's what I said.
Yeah. And then Martinelli came on and Saka was causing problems. And it was like all of a sudden they woke up. But it was too late. But then you're not going to win anything with Holding at the back. You're not going to win anything with Elneny in midfield. You're not going to win anything with any of these guys that we've got that are what we class as dead wood. They need to go. But I would have personally, I'd rather see Maitland-Niles in midfield than Elneny. I'll be honest with you. And I think he'll give you more drive, more. He'll want it more. But then it would have meant we would have had to either play Bellerin or Cedric.
Mate, I would much rather see Guendouzi in midfield, to be honest with you.
Hey, Shaheen, it's Matteo Guendouzi, man, not Matthew.
No, I said I'd much rather see Matteo Guendouzi, or Lucas Torreira for that matter. Listen, Lucas Torreira he was playing okay. I can't believe that all of a sudden he's so poor That he's not
Because you
good
played him
enough
as
on
a
the field.
cam. You played a centre defensive mid as a cam. Like,
but hold on.
he's so poor.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
El
yeah,
Neni
but
is good enough.
he's not made it at Atletico either, though. African, he's not done that.
yeah, I know, but it's more competitive. I guess he's out of form. Like, I haven't watched, to be honest, quite honest. I haven't watched, but
Yeah,
you can't tell me
what
that he
about
isn't better than what we have.
Guendouzi is killing it in the German league. You telling me Guendouzi can't get into Arsenal midfield? He's not good enough?
But
Yeah, because
funnily
look,
enough,
the
you're
reason
right.
that Guendouzi is out of the squad and the likes of Mesut Ozil and probably Torreira is because they question the
Attitude.
manager. Is that they've questioned the manager? That's why.
Possibly.
But look, you tell me in any big team with big, like when we had the Invincible team, you telling me that they didn't question Arsene Wenger? Of course they did. But just because someone's going to question you doesn't mean that you need to isolate him or get him out of the club. So for me, that's wrong.
Yeah, but Flo, I think if I was playing for Arsene Wenger, I would have think twice about questioning him because the guy, he's got, as you said earlier, CV to back up rather than somebody who just come through the door and his first door and is making dodgy decisions. So, Lev, you know what? I'm going to ask you this. Yeah, I asked these guys earlier as well. Considering putting in context what Edu came out with to what happened today, the statement he came out with, and what happened today, where do we go? What's the way forward?
I don't know what to believe anymore with our club, right? The communication between the club and the fans in general is poor. No one knows what's really going on. No one knows what the real problems are. I've even heard Edu could be facing the sack himself. But my man's come out last week suggesting he's giving Arteta the vote of confidence, all that. So, I mean, what is the point of giving him the vote of confidence if he's potentially not going to be here? So,
the whole lot of them need to go.
The club is the whole club is a mess right now, right? From top to bottom, and I don't know what's happening. Do you know what really winds me up the most? When you listen to those commentators and those pundits, the ones that have seen Arsenal smacking up their team for the last God knows how many years, enjoying this moment, that you can hear the pundits reveling in our demise right now, and it's winding me up. It really is. So something's got to give. You could argue it's the players. We can't. I know Flo. I've missed a lot of what Flo was saying, and I'm a bit gutted about that. But I'm guessing it was along the lines of Arteta out.
Listen, he was having a right go at you. You know what I mean? Saying he was like, "Oh, that left is Arteta in, this and that."
Oh, shut up! It was not. Firstly, I'm not Arteta in. I'm not Arteta out. I'm a man who backs the manager of my club, and I try to do that. And on top of that, this team has been so poorly managed. Look, we're talking about the recruitment, how poor it's been in that game today, right? Imagine all of those players that we're discussing. The majority.
Oh, what happened, love?
See, even the internet picked up and Levy's talking nonsense and he muted himself.
Yeah.
Listen here, boys. Let me just tell you this, boys. What is the ambition of the board and what they've come out and said? We want to get back in the Champions League, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you. The solution for that is pretty simple. If you go out and invest money, you get the awards and you get players of that caliber and make your team better, spend money to fix your team to challenge. Because if you challenge for the league, because if you do that, you might not win the league, but guess what? You are guaranteed of a top 4 finish. Because if you challenge for the league, you are guaranteed certainty to finish inside the top 4. So don't say we need 1 or 2 players just to get the scrape into that top 4. Build your team to challenge for the league, and if you do that, I can guarantee you, my friend, that you are guaranteed to finish into the top 4. So the solution is pretty simple.
Yeah. Agreed.
But that's where us fans have been brainwashed to say, nah, it's too hard to go challenge for the league. We are 3-4 years away from doing that. We need to sign 1 or 2 just to scrape into that battle for that top position. So that's where us fans have gone from here, down here. Because if you challenge, if you buy players to challenge to win the league, you might not win it, but you guarantee the top 4 finish.
But then, Flo, I agree with you. But as I said, we've been disappointed window after window for 5-10 years. That now I can't see Arsenal going out and splashing 200 million. I've always said as a fan that we can. Chelsea did it. Why can't we do it? Right? But a lot of people say you need to give him 2-3 transfer windows for him to get the players. Right?
Oh, look, can I say something, guys? Right. What I was trying to say before I got cut off again is that I think we can have a go at Arteta as much as we want all day long. We could say Arteta this, Arteta that, right? But how many of those players are not good enough? What went wrong? What went wrong in our recruitment process that we got so much wrong? Mustafi, Socrates, Mkhitaryan, Chambers, Cedric, yes. I mean, Mari. Well, we don't know about Mari. It's a bit too soon, but there's players. El Neni. I mean, there's Willian. How much more are we gonna? Yeah, how much more are we gonna get wrong? You know what? Today, I'm gonna have to admit I've lost patience with Pepe after today.
Yeah, right? He's shit.
But I still would have taken Willian off ahead of Pepe today because at least Pepe's got something in his locker where he could do something and make a goal, right? Yeah.
You calling out these, not calling out. You mentioning these players, right?
Yeah.
It's not the players. You know, they didn't say, "Oh, I fancy. I'm going to go to Arsenal."
No, it's the recruitment team. I'm questioning. Questioning the recruitment
because it's them who thought that Mikel Arteta is good enough to manage Arsenal. It's them who thought William Saliba is somebody who's going to come and sort out Arsenal defensive problems. It's them who thought that Willian is a good signing. He's gonna add something to the team. It's them who thought signing Cedric Suarez on a free transfer from Southampton is a good idea. Pablo Mari, David Luiz extending his contract.
Ceballos coming back.
Bringing back Ceballos, loaning out Guendouzi, loaning out Torreira. This is just 10 decisions that I've just shouted out for you that they're all wrong.
Yeah.
They're all wrong, right? And then until they are here in charge of this recruitment team, I have no confidence in them getting anything right. So that is the problem. As I was saying to Flo earlier, some fans are saying players are the problem. They're right.
The players are the problem, yes.
Hold on, Flo. Some saying the players are the problem, yes. Some saying Arteta is the problem, yes. Some saying the fan base is a problem, yes. Board, owner, Edu, yes, they are all problems. There are so much wrong at Arsenal Football Club now that is hard to say, to put your finger and say, this is the problem. It's a combination of a lot of issues that, unfortunately, is going to take a long time to sort out. And I don't see anybody in the Arsenal setup from Kroenke right up to Arteta who's got enough bottle to come and make the hard decisions.
Can I ask Lev a question? So Lev, I hear you in regards to what you're saying about the players not being good enough, right? And I totally agree with that. We all know that, right? But then doesn't it come to a point where the manager needs to change tactics? Because we've been playing the same way and we've been losing for the last 2 months. Really, it's been about 2 months. We've been playing the exact same way and we keep losing and we weren't changing Bellerin, Xhaka, Holding. We keep playing the same players. Now we've gone to the point where these players are getting red cards, so they're forced out of the team. You know, that's the only way we can get them out of the team. But tactically, why aren't we playing a different way? You can't tell me that these professional players playing for Arsenal Football Club can't play a different style of football or can't play a different formation, playing two strikers or something, right? That's when I go on Arteta now and I'm saying, okay, it's been, at first I was like, cool, Arteta can't do anything more. The players are crap. And now I'm questioning Arteta and I'm saying, listen, dude, you see it's not working. You can't tell me you're going to keep playing the same cards when you know those cards aren't giving you the results. It just doesn't make any sense. Even a janitor can see what I'm seeing, that tactically we are only one-dimensional. Play it to Tierney, cross to Eddie Nketiah, who's really never scored a header for Arsenal Football Club in the Premier League, and then try and score, right? So don't you agree that the manager needs to be changing his tactics at least?
Listen, I don't disagree with you, and I'm as I said before, I'm neither Arteta in or Arteta out. I'm Arsenal. That's the most important thing, right? And I try to be the best fan as I can be. Look, did he have a thankless task? Yes, he did. Are most of those players not good enough? Yes, they are not good enough, right?
Yeah.
I think it's got to a point now, it's a bit of a catch-22 for him because, yes, I agree he should be changing his tactics. And I also agree that the fundamental things he's doing wrong at the moment is he's playing players that shouldn't be playing, right? He stopped doing that. Willian's he's still playing Willian, though, right? He dropped Bellerin, fair enough. And again, I think Maitland-Niles, although it was a tough game for him and there were some rapid players next to him, I would still rather Maitland-Niles rather than Bellerin. I think at least he held his own, right? But then I think what's happened now is you've got a culmination of things, because now what you've got is a squad that's lost total confidence throughout. So you can maybe play as many bloody formations as you want, but with this current crop and now with their confidence shattered, I don't think it matters what formation he plays, because they need something to change.
So, but then, Lev, if you're saying that, I disagree, because in the last 10 minutes, they didn't look like they were losing any confidence. That was a real good team.
Desperation. That was desperation, African.
Yeah,
but this is what I'm saying.
The
handbrake comes off, you start suddenly playing, and that's what they have to have in there before the game starts. That handbrake should be off before the game.
Yeah, but then
that's
the
when the manager comes in, Lev.
You
can't say the last 15 minutes, boys, throw the kitchen sink at
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
That comes down to you.
Yeah, well, but then listen, it's a culmination. I agree. That's down to the manager. But then what you're going to do, Flo? You're going to get another manager. You're going to stick him in. You're going to have a 6 months bounce where everyone's going to do all right. They're going to all be worried for their jobs, and they'll have a good few months performing, and then they'll dip again.
Yeah, but you see, you are saying the same thing that I raised before. You think that if a new manager comes in, these same players will still be here. But if Arteta sticks in this job, we are going to get rid of all this dross. Why can't we get rid of all these bullshit players that we have with a new manager? So
what now?
That's why
but would you do that? I don't understand what you're disagreeing with me for, because I haven't actually.
Because you're saying that will a new manager come in and get change and get a bounce?
I'm asking a question, Flo. I'm not confirming either or.
If a new manager comes here, Lev, we will see change for the better. And we might not get all the change we want in January, but come the summer, then believe me that the new manager will say to the board, you know what?
Flo, it depends who the new manager is.
These players, but you can't go out and go get Eddie Howe and say he's going to turn the club around.
It depends on what manager they go for, right?
Yeah, but
it don't matter, mate.
Yeah,
if you don't get the manager right, you're not gonna. It doesn't matter who you put in.
Look, history's been proven that this board will not go and get an Allegri or Mourinho,
which is why we're here now, Flo.
Yeah, but that's why us fans need to play a part in that, Leaf. When they bring out names, when you got Ornstein or Charles Watts or whoever come in and say, talks have been ongoing with Eddie Howe. They're testing the waters out and us fans do nothing about it. Well, then, of course, they're going to go and get Eddie Howe.
That ship sailed ages ago because we sat back and we let them get away with it for 10, 15 years, Flo.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to say no. But now you have to say enough is enough. You can't just roll with the punches and say, go get Eddie Howe and be quiet.
What is the point of saying enough is enough now that it's in this shit? Right, we should have said enough is enough 10 years ago, 5 years ago, instead of bickering with each other and going on about accounts and this. We should have all been focused in unison towards the board and asking questions. Now, I'm not disagreeing with you, and I'm not sure if Arteta is the right man, and it's looking increasingly like he's not. However, I also don't have any faith in these guys going out and getting Allegri or getting someone worthy of the club Arsenal. Why? Because they're cheapskates.
A good example.
Can I just come in? We bought cheap and we bought in volume, and now we've got lots of shit.
Can I just comment on this? Listen, a good example of what we're talking about is Sven Mislintat.
Yes.
He's coming and he's coming from a Dortmund setup. He's coming to Arsenal and he's gone out. He's identified players who would come in and improve the club. And he's seen there is no money. He's putting in the list. He's getting knocked back because, we're not going to spend money. And he's off. Right? Yeah. The same thing is going to happen with the Allegri or Pochettino type manager, because they, in an the first chat they're going to have, I genuinely believe this, that when Mourinho was at Emirates watching a game with Raul Sanelli, they were talking about the Arsenal job. And Mourinho would have told him, listen, mate, for me to come in, I need, £100 million, right? And I want at least half of this team out. And the answer he would have got is, no, man, we don't have that sort of money available for you to spend. And it's going to be hard to get rid of some of these players because, the contract they're on, the salary that they're on, not a lot of people get. So Mourinho would have looked at it and they'll be like, nah, you know what? I'm not going to risk my reputation coming here. So a lot of people looked at that, and that is the problem with Arsenal Football Club right now, which another good example, Dominic Szoboszlai. He chose to go RB Leipzig over Arsenal Football Club and the Premier League. Why? Because he would have looked at the club from far and he would have seen, right, there's a problem in the dressing room, tight owner, things are not happening. Poor bunch of players. I'm a 20-year-old player who I need to go somewhere to develop my game and become a better player. I can't do that at Arsenal. I'm not going to go there. I'll go to RB Leipzig. And that is the perception of Arsenal Football Club throughout Europe with players now. Which
And
makes
many
it
years, not just now. This has been for many years.
it's worse now.
Yeah, it is far worse now.
Yeah. So they look at this and they'll be like, I don't really fancy going there. It's not going to work well for me. Same thing with a Allegri or a Luis Flo, in my opinion. So not Luis, Pochettino. They look at this and they're like, is the board going to give me a check to spend on players? No. These players, they're on just ridiculous contract. Majority of them towards the end of their career. The defenders are poor. The midfielders are poor. Do I really want to? I've been out of the game for a while. Do I want to risk my reputation and go to a club like Arsenal? Probably not. I'm going to wait out until I get a decent opportunity. It's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but it's my opinion.
When a club is paying you 10 million a year, mate, you're going to take it, all right? So don't say we cannot get Allegri or Pochettino in.
Yeah, but they're not going to pay them. They're not going to give them 10 million a year.
Arteta's 6 million a year. They gave Wenger fucking 10, 12 million a year. So
Arsene Wenger was on 8.5 million a year. I understand.
Yeah. He was.
That was at best, right? And Arsenal are not going to spend that sort of money on a manager. I'll guarantee you, mate, for free, right? That's why they probably You remember, listen, Flo, when Wenger left, they had a lot more options. They had no, Mourinho wasn't available. They had Allegri, they had
Luis Enrique, they had all these guys.
They had these two. I think Ancelotti was on the rope, I think, as well at the time. They could have got him if they wanted, but they didn't. They went for what? Unai Emery, who was probably expecting a lot less than, or he was asking a lot less than what they
Can
were.
you see the common denominator in all that?
If you remember, Unai Emery, right, was a last-minute candidate. He was not mentioned anywhere at all. Last minute, boom. Because if you remember, Arteta almost got the job. And he said the reason he didn't take it, he said they were not offering enough money for me to spend on the transfer window. And then all of a sudden, Unai Emery came in. Within 2 days, he was appointed Arsenal manager.
Yeah, but can you see the common denominator in that? They've gone after the big fish. They didn't like what they heard because they wanted more control in the club and what's going on.
Yeah.
So they went after all these guys here who they have all failed, and then that's why I'm saying, Lev, us fans need to stand up now because enough is enough. Because if we, I agree with you that we should have done it 10 years ago, but sometimes where's the cutoff point, Lev? So that's why now we have to stand up and say no more of this fucking Mikel Arteta bullshit manager coming in to learn his experience here because. We are Arsenal Football Club. If he wants to learn on the job, go to Bolton, go to Championship and learn your trade.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. We do need to do
God
something.
For that, you two managed to agree on something.
No. Listen, we don't disagree at all. I mean, I just think it's just differing opinions here and there. But generally,
Lev is just a bit more patient than I am. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. That's what being a single dad of three does to you. But like, what I will say is. As fans, if we don't do something about it unified, nothing's going to change. I agree with Flo on the sense that they picked Arteta because he was more of a controllable manager. Let's be honest here. Why are these guys looking at these jobs? Let's be honest. Mourinho was available before Spurs got him. Wait, 1 minute.
No, hold on. Can we please call Arteta for what he is? He's a yes man. So let's
all right, can I finish what I'm doing?
Yes, you certainly can.
Thank you. So let's look at the candidates. Yeah, before Spurs got him, Mourinho was available. Yeah,
for an interview.
Yeah, he went for an interview. Allegri's been to see him. A few managers of Enrique, they've been to see him, but they've gone for the two lesser guys. Why? 100% the same. The right reason Claude Flo has said is in the sense that. They're yes men, right? They're yes men. They do what they're told, and they won't have that high expectation. They won't go to the board and say, "Oi, you need to get me this guy. You need to get me that guy." They won't do it. Are you not still laughing because I called him? Anyway, so
it's going to cost you, mate.
Oh man, I'm sorry, mate. I couldn't
That was
do anything.
a personal insult, I think.
Don't take it there,
that was
man.
below the belt, mate.
Oh, that's time. It's definitely time to go.
I'm not that big.
Oh, shut up. Look, guys.
I love Claude, mate. I love Claude. He's a legend.
You're saying
good.
all this, Flo. I'm not saying anything.
Nah,
but what
I
I'm
love
saying is 100% they're picking yes men. They're picking controllable guys. That's what they're doing. And unless we do something about it, it's not going to change. So, yeah, we are in that situation. But, guys, the massive issue we have is all that dead wood is about 6 or 7 players all in one go.
And it's more than that.
And I want to comment on a couple of things in the chat as well, because I've seen Crook saying Willian was a favour for a mate. I could see that, a Brazilian favour for a mate. Same with Luis. He's in the last years of his career. Let him stay in London. And there's another one who said, bought cheap ? Xhaka, Saliba, Laka, Uber, Pepe, Mustafi, Partey, all these guys were 30 million plus. In today's age, 30 million, what does it get you? Well, for some clubs, it gets them someone decent. For us, it gets you
Xhaka,
Pep, Mustafi, let's not forget we spent 75 million on Pepe, so that's big money. But what happened to that person that brought that 75 million pound man in? Sacked. Why? Because he was overpaying. What happened to what is that squeaking noise, by the way? That's not me.
Yeah. Flo, you got something around you squeezing?
I think I know what it is. I've just switched it off. Right.
Slave, mate, not me.
Yeah, I'm squeaking. I'm tight ass. On another note,
typical Arsenal fan takes after the club. Tight ass.
Bored. But on another note, right? He's gone and they've paid this sort of money for people that aren't good enough, paid them a certain wages. But for me, they still took the cheaper options. Now, why didn't they go and get Havertz and Werner and all these guys that Chelsea got? What
would it be an argument here to say Raul Sanelli, was beginning to knock on the owner's door asking for money to sign heavy-duty players, and that's one of the reasons they got rid of him?
It could be. He could be. He could have turned around and said, "Man, listen, we've fallen behind in the marketplace. We're still shopping at prices from 10 years ago, where other people are shopping at different prices and at different levels. Look at the recruitment of Liverpool. There's those players we have gone backwards. It's not Liverpool finding amazing players far better than everybody else. They've just recruited the right types of players. We've recruited levels down, and now it shows. That game against Palace was ridiculous.
There is definitely a conversation to be had around Raul Sanelli. Remember when we had Fabrizio on our channel, we pushed him. Yeah, remember I asked him first, and then I thought he didn't hear me, so I let it go. And then Turkish asked, and then he again tried to avoid answering the question. So there is definitely something, because for me it was a shock when the question he left in a manner he left.
Yeah, but the question was about the Nicolas Pepe deal. It wasn't about just in general about him asking for more money and stuff. So maybe if the next time you could ask the question in a different way and ask if he was knocking on the door and if he had higher expectations and wanted more money, because I think he'd be able to give us that answer. Whereas when we ask about if there was some sneaky deal behind the doors for the Pepe deal,
the issue with someone like Fabrizio is that he would much rather keep his good relation with the Arsenal board than to come on the podcast with us and throw them under the bus. So he said Arsenal got a fantastic board, which Turkish face went like this, and then I followed, and I was like, what? So he would even if he knows the truth, he probably would not come on and tell us what happened with Raul and how he went. But there is definitely something there. Look, guys, we've been going on for a while. Just to conclude things and round things up.
I just got here, man. What's going on?
Yeah, well, you were late. I know.
Hey, Shaheen.
Yes, brother.
I think in order to get change, man, I think you and I need to get together, put our money on the table, and buy this club out, mate. What do you reckon?
Oh, mate, you know what?
Agreed.
You heard it here first.
There was an offer by Alisher Osmanov to Kroenke, and he didn't sell.
Yeah, but our offer would be £1 billion and £1.
Yeah, Flo. By the way, when you guys put in that bid, just make sure that you include Lev and I as board members. Yeah.
Hey, since you say the word janitor a lot, you can be the janitor.
No, yeah,
Oh,
right. I mean,
that's you, African. He's not talking to me there. He's
Yeah,
talking
because
to
he's
you.
always saying
I said a janitor could do better than Arteta.
because he's always said a janitor can do a better job than Arteta, so we'll put you in as a janitor.
Right,
That's
guys,
cool as
I'm just
long as I get a seat on the board.
Absolutely.
Coming to round things up, right? I'm going to ask all three of you this question, yeah, and just give me an answer. Then that we'll end it after that. From now to 1st of January, what do you predict what's going to happen?
Can I go first?
Go on.
We're gonna lose every game until January, and then we're gonna go and buy players that we need. Not all the players that we need. We're gonna sign one big player to shut up the fan, and we're gonna just make our way throughout the season. We're not gonna win anything. It's gonna be the same old stuff, and then in the summer we're gonna get rid of all the players, and I think we're gonna reshape everything. Get rid of Arteta or keep Arteta. Make serious changes in the summer, but for now we're gonna lose continuously until the end of December for me.
Bro,
What's gonna
bro,
so, and until January 1, who we got to play? Chelsea and Brighton, or
Chelsea,
Yeah,
Brighton, Man City.
all right, and Man City. Okay, 3 games, 3 losses. Arteta will probably get the sack. Arsenal, Edu will go out and sign Hossim Aouar and say, "See, we got the attacking midfielder we wanted." Because I think they're really going to go push for Hossim Aouar in January. So yeah, we'll get Hossim Aouar. But I would think they will sack him. But knowing what you said before, I think even if we lose the next 3 games, they will stick with Arteta. They'll probably get Hossim Aouar in. And then all the fans will be like, "Oh, we got Partey, we got Aouar, we back, baby, we're back. Level's going to be jumping up and down." And then next thing you know, we lose the next game in January. So everything is going to be back to Arteta out again. But look, it doesn't matter what they do, mate. We're fucked.
Thank you for that, Flo. Lev?
I predicted we're winning the league. Yeah, championship. Listen, let's be honest, right? It's not going to be the best of seasons. I'm not sure that we'll get Aouar. Right? I'm at that point now, because if I was Aouar and I've had calls from PSG and Juve, I'm looking at that and I'm going, do I really want to go to that? So we'll end up getting Buendia and Cantwell from Norwich. That's what will end up happening, right? Yes, that's what will end up happening. Something like that. But I genuinely don't think it's going to be as bad as we think. It will turn. We will start getting some results. We need a couple of wins. Africa, stop shaking your head, right? We need to be optimistic here.
It's not happening. Look at you. Wait. Look at you. 5 wins that we were going to get from the 5 games.
Yeah. I was spot on with that. So let's just move on. Yeah.
Lev, we can't get more than 1 goal, and you're telling us we're going to win all these games.
What games did I say we were going to win? I didn't say all these games. I think
all 5.
Listen, you'll be really surprised. Partey coming back is going to make a big difference. It will.
It will.
Whether you want to agree with it or not.
Jan, is he?
Is he not coming back till Jan? So then don't expect much till January onwards, about end of Jan onwards. But that's it.
But then if you're not expecting anything by January, then
fire him.
If 1st of January is here, and then we're out of the.
No, they're going to give him the window, Shaheen. They're going to give him the window, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, but Lev, I'm just telling you this. Yeah, if we lose to Chelsea and we lose to Brighton, depending on other results, right, we could easily be in the relegation zone or just above relegation, right? So then, how are you going to justify the manager, and also how are you going to attract a Hossim Aouar type player?
I don't need to justify it. They do, right? It's their job to do this.
I'm saying. So the question I'm asking is from the board point of view.
You know what? The board is a pile of shit, right? Let's be honest. They're not footballing board. They're not a board that gets what it is to be an Arsenal fan, a footballing man. They are just pure money men, right? And what we are facing here, a lot of clubs are going to start facing, mark my words, we have got greedy corporate buggers at the top who all they care about is the brand and making money from that brand globally, right? What they're missing, and I said this in the last show, what the point they're really missing is the brand is all about what happens on the pitch. If you've got no success, no performances on the pitch, that brand suffers. Our brand right now, it used to be, I don't know, Gucci or something, and now it's, I don't know, Primark. Yeah, that's our brand right now. But Primark used to be Gucci, so they're still selling off the old stock of Gucci because that's the brand. It's still doing well abroad. But eventually, people aren't going to support us anymore if we carry on like this. The new breed is going somewhere else. So if they carry on like this, our brand is going to suffer. We need them out.
Shane, let me say this: if we lose to Chelsea and Brighton, and we go into that January period, I'll tell you this: we'll be lucky to sign even one player from a European club, one player. Because if we lose them 2 in a row and we go relegation battle, no big player want to come to us. So probably, like Lev said, we'll probably go to the Championship and go to Norwich, give us your 2 best players, and then shop around that area. So if we lose to Chelsea and Brighton, mate, crisis.
Fair enough. I hear that. Guys, I just want to thank everybody who joined us. There is something I want to tell you guys as well. We've got a new addition to the Arsenal Lounge team, and that's the lovely Mr. Harry Symeou. So we're going to be doing shows with Harry Symeou soon. That's going to be on regular basis as well. And we look forward to having Harry as part of the team. Graham is going to be back soon as well, hopefully. And we're going to go forward. Guys, thank you very much for giving us your time.
Can I jump in there as well? So
yes,
you've got Sunday surgery with Harry Symeou, but we've got a Christmas special for Wednesday, Real Talk, yeah? We still got Lee, we still got Turkish. I think you're doing, what is it you're doing? Something special, right?
Look, we're doing like a quiz show, a Christmas quiz this Wednesday. We're going to, obviously, hopefully, Arsenal would have beaten Man City, but for this Wednesday, we're going to have Lee judges, Turkish. We've got a special guest. Should we tell him the special guest, Lev? Or?
Yeah, go ahead. He's going to come on and he's a funny guy. We thought we'd bring in some humour for Christmas.
Yeah, we've got Frimpong that is going to come on Frimmy, as Lev says, for Christmas quiz this Wednesday. And hopefully, we guys have you. African Gune is also in a process of coming up with something special for Christmas as well. So keep an eye on that one. Thank you very much for your support. It's been fantastic. Please hit the like button, support us, subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon. Again, thank you very much for giving us your time. Guys, if you want to say anything?
1 sec. Yes. You know how you said you're getting all these guys in, like Harry and all these guys? To me, it sounds like all you're doing is the same what Arsenal's doing. All yes men, all Arteta rid men.
No, listen, we need to have a balance. I don't think Harry is an Arteta in, but we need to have a balance to the thing. You know, different people with different points of view.
Can I just add as well, Shaheen? Someone thinks it's Emmanuel Frimpong, the ex-player. No, Frimpong, the account guy, the guy that does the team talks before the games. That Frimpong. That's Frimpong with no G.
Yeah, I give Albert JTV a follow as well. He always comes on and give us his time. Thank you again, guys, for giving us your time. Hopefully,
thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Hopefully next time.
Flo, come on again.
Yeah, we'll do, mate. We'll do. But next time, I want you in from the start, so we can really butt heads.
Mate, we'll do that. As long as I'm going to wear my Russian hat next week as well. Then,
mate, it's fucking bit breezy here, mate. So.
All right, guys. Have a good evening, everybody.
See you, boys. Have a good one. Arteta.